first of all, I'd like to just say good morning to everyone who's obviously listening, all the supporters. I know it's a difficult time, but we're trying to do the best we can. Everybody at the club, obviously like yourselves, is frustrated we never finished. But I think it's massively important that everybody obviously adheres to the guidelines that's set and stays safe. And hopefully, we'll get together soon.
Well, John, we've received a number of questions from supporters who've taken the opportunity to pose their particular question to you. And we start with one from June Steele, who asks whether you're any nearer to finding out about your future with the club.
Well, obviously, I'm in the similar situation, really, because, everybody at the club has been furloughed. So it's a situation that I'm going to end up having, obviously, speaking to Ashley. Initially, we was waiting on the takeover to happen. So, the decision could be made then. I think that was only fair and proper to do that, because if somebody else is going to come in and take over the club, I think it's only right for everyone that they can start off how they want to start off. So I'm still the same. I'm happy at the moment to carry on doing what I'm doing. I've spoken to Ashley maybe about being taken off furlough soon, so I can start some planning. I did mention to him about doing some planning, because what we don't want to do as a club is get to, into June, maybe July, where, we've actually done nothing. So I think that's, whatever happens with me, I'm happy with that, because I think, that'd be fair to do that really for the club, because, what we don't want to do is what I've said before, is get involved in a rat race later on when we decide that we can get back. So trying to put some things in place, hopefully, and I'm sure I'll have discussions soon when we know more about what's happening with the club with regards to my future. So I can't answer it properly, because like everything else at the moment, it's a little bit up in the air, but I'm happy. I've enjoyed. I have to say, I've really enjoyed my time at the club. It's been tough, I'm not going to lie. It's been really tough. Some of the the situation when we went in, and obviously dealing with what we had to do, but I got brilliant support from everyone, and we managed to do really what we set out to do when we came in, and that was survive in this division. So whatever happens, I'm quite proud, with myself and the staff that we've been able to do that.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Ryan Cocking says, if you were given the job permanently, what would be the key areas you'd add to?
Well, I think initially we have to look at the whole thing. I think if you're sitting down and analysing what's going on, I can only deal with what happened when I was in there, what I seen. Certain things that I was made aware of didn't quite, escalate when I was there. I think so everybody's different. All managers are different. Players are different with different managers. One thing that you have to understand, what I did say is not every manager we've had has been. You can't say has been poor, really. So I did say that to the players when I walked through the door. The players have to take some responsibility for the position that the club was in. So the answer to your question is I'm looking at everything. If it was me, if we can strengthen it in all areas, I will do. There's several players obviously who are still under contract, so and they've been okay. It's almost having a pre-season with them and try to add to some quality to it, or something that fits better so the team can function better. So that's kind of where we are. I'd want to strengthen everywhere if possible, but again, my meetings that I've had, discussions that I've had with Ashley, there's not going to be the finances that's been there for the last few years. So it's not as if we can go out and pay the wages that possibly they've paid in the last to players over the last few years. That's going to have to change. So we have to be creative with that, and it's looking obviously what's available.
Okay, moving on to a question from Danny Hughes, who says, what opposition players have impressed you this season?
Well, I've seen several, if I'm honest, at this level, and obviously the level below this, the National League North. There's some good players in that level who could certainly play at our level. Again, it comes down to whether their players are available. You know, I have now a list of players which obviously we put together from the league below, and obviously the league that we're in, and it's understanding what kind of wages that is going to cost. Are they available? I know a lot of the better players that could definitely play in our football club in the league below. It's very difficult to get some of them because they're not full time. So a lot of the players have jobs. So if you're wanting to take one of their players who's at a decent club, they're looking at, you're paying them £2,000 a week because they're earning good money with the job and good money with the football. So a lot of those you can't get. They don't want to, they want the security of the job. So there's players available. We've put together a dossier of players. Certainly in our level, there's good players in every team we've played against. Certainly in the teams I've played against, there's good players. We've identified. One of the things I like to do with my staff is identify the best players that we've played against. And there's been good players in every team we've played. That would boost our squad. But now, obviously, it's looking at those. Have we got the finance to do it, and are those players available? So, without naming names, because I think that's unfair, because they may be still in contracts, because we don't know that. But yeah, we've identified quite a few players that could boost what we're doing, and then obviously looking at the football league, League 2, League 1. You just never know what's available, especially in the current climate where there may not be people who've got the money to pay the wages, and some lot of good players with experience might be looking for a club soon. So I think that's important, that we don't just rush into making decisions to sign players unless it's the right one we've identified, and see obviously what is available come May when the release list comes out.
Okay, so Tom Lloyd has been in touch, and he talks about the youth team players, and says, how important is it to bring players through, and how do you see this working out at Town?
Well, it's important. You can only bring youth players through. It comes first and foremost. It's down to recruitment. Recruitment of the young players, and having that camaraderie and that cohesion through the club, that everybody knows what to expect. And then it comes down to opportunity, and the opportunity to give young players playing time. You can look for that. The difficult thing for me when I've walked into the football club, we were in a relegation fight, and sometimes that's difficult unless you've got the right young person to put them in a relegation fight. I did it with young Regan because I looked at him, and obviously working with him and seeing what he's like and his personality and what he's like in training, I felt he would be okay to do that and play some part with us, and certainly did that with Jamie Sharman. I know Jamie. I put Jamie in when I first took over as caretaker manager, so I know what he's capable of doing, and and he will come. And I think he's got a big future. Me personally, given the chance and in the right hands. But it's not just about me sticking them in. It's about them, understanding what the league is. And I think this is with a lot that the young players, the problem that they have. It's not academy football. You're not expected to just play football. Like the rules say, you've got to play so many games. You've got to fight for your position. Everyone's playing for real. These kids are not now playing with their own age group. They're playing with players who have families, who have houses to pay for, and they've got mortgages, and they've got cars, and they've got children. And it's them understanding that they've got to do their best for the person who's outside of them, who has got the those responsibilities of a family life. So it's understanding about the looking at the competition, dealing with competition. You're not going to play 30 games if you're not good enough to play at this level, because my job depends on it and everybody else's job depends on it. So when you get that mentality, and that's what, like, when I work with young players, I like to try to breathe that into them. I like a player with, when people say to me, what do you see in a good young player? What does he have? And I always say the first thing that you look at a young player is has he got that little warrior within? Does he want to win in what he does? Does he want to be involved? And that's what I saw with young Regan. Young Regan in the training session we have, he wants to win every time he does something, and he wants to get better, and he wants to play. I think he'd play for nothing. He's one of those, because he just wants to play football, and I love that kind of character, and we've got to install that in our young players. So definitely play young players. I love playing young players. I love to see having something which is a starter and watch them develop. I think that's brilliant as a for me as a coach. But when you're like we've just been in a relegation fight, it's very difficult to have a lot of young players making mistake after mistake, which they're going to do, and trying to get results to get out of the position we were in. So yeah, it's just getting that balance right.
Okay. So Alex Green has been in touch. He's posed a number of questions. We'll pick a couple of those out. First of all, he says, what has John changed at the club as the players are playing in the same positions and, as he says, using almost the same tactics prior to John arriving at the club? So what's the biggest thing that you say that you've changed since returning to the club?
Well, I don't really know how what the tactics, what they were doing before or what they weren't doing before. I can only say of what I do when I go in anywhere. I just assess. I assessed what we had, and then I looked at the players and what I felt, me personally, were their better positions. So when I went in, obviously we had Robbie Weir, who was a midfield player, who having to play right back. So there was no right back. So initially, right away, then there's no balance to it. And then I looked at Buchanan, who I knew, who's played 500 league games, and he wasn't playing in his position, which I felt that was I know what I'm going to get from Buxy, so I felt that putting him at his left back spot, it makes him more comfortable in what he's doing, and just changing obviously the dynamics of the group. Now, training wise, I like to work a lot with facts, because I think if you deal with opinion, and it's your opinion against someone else, that can cause confrontation. So I don't deal with opinion, I deal with facts. And the facts are that my opinion, the facts are that they could not get round a football pitch in the intensity that was needed to win football matches. And when I sat down, they knew that. They knew that. They weren't not fit. It's just that they couldn't work at high intensity and maintain it. So initially was to sit down with the whole squad and just get their thoughts, because I think if you give them an input, they'll buy into it. Told them how I felt we could definitely get out of the position we were in, but this was what had to happen, and this was going to happen, and if they didn't want to buy into it, then they wouldn't play. It was as simple as that. And just change the training, and I have to say they were absolutely spot on, all of them. Even the ones who weren't involved, what I asked everyone to do was to train at their maximum. And what we do then, when you bring it all together, we trust as a squad and as a group, we trust 11 players every Saturday to do the job for us all. And that's important, that they take that responsibility. And then we say to everybody else, we need you to train properly and support in the right way. I don't have a first team and a reserve team. I have a first team squad of players. That's how I see it, and that's how I like to work. And we need to be called on. I had people walking through the door, players walking through the door there who just they had no intention of playing on a Saturday. It wasn't even in the mindset because they just haven't been involved for that long. So their mentality was they walk through the door on a Monday, they train till Friday, and then they go home at weekend, and then they come back in and start Monday all over again. And I just had to break that cycle, and we ended up breaking it in the end, and we got the benefits of that. And we had the dressing room was really good. The stat rates of obviously the players regards fitness and tempo went up tenfold. I remember on one of them we had big Dents, who in his own words didn't feel sharp, didn't feel fit enough. Obviously, all of a sudden covering 7 kilometres in training, in games, in training sessions, and then being able to replicate that in the games, which then obviously he starts scoring goals. It's not rocket science. It's just facts. If you're in the best condition to do your job, then you can do your job better. And then I looked at every player, what they were good at, and tried to make them to come out. So obviously looking at what Dents is good at. Dents, if you get Tom Denton in an 18-yard box, he's the best in this league at what he does, bar none. But a lot of the time, when in the games that I've seen, obviously before that, and the games I've looked at, he was doing all his work 40 and 50 yards from goal. So even though he was winning his duels, he's winning his duels 40 yards from goal. So all we did was, all of a sudden now, he's changed the way we play slightly and what we did, so we could get Tom Denton in the box more, with more crosses. And obviously then he starts scoring goals, and it's just trying to get the best out of people. Smudger was scoring goals, and all of a sudden you win a couple of games, and the whole mentality and the atmosphere changes around the club. And there was a lot of things that had to be done, but first and foremost, assessing where they were and getting the players to take responsibility for where they were, which they did.
Okay. Another question from Alex. He talks about the FA Cup highlights from the 97 Cup run, of course, the Sparrats getting to the semi-final stage there, and a thrilling 3-3 draw at Old Trafford. He asks if you'd actually asked the current players to watch the FA Cup highlights and learn about the grit, determination, passion and pride for the shirt. And I'm sure that's something that you will place great emphasis on, that type of, whether you did ask them to watch the FA Cup game or not. I'm sure you'll echo that sort of sentiment.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. In everywhere, I know the players watched it, because obviously they were, I had conversations with the players and they were talking about it, and it weren't a million miles away. I looked at the time when, in 2015 when I was at Bristol, and we played Chesterfield, and I think it was the last game of the season, and to get in the, we won the league to get in the championship, and Chesterfield were in the playoffs, and that was only 5 years ago. So they all know that. I echo that. When I used to walk in training every day of where this football club, has been and still can get there. But it's it's what it's needed. It's not. Yes, it's grit and determination, but it's there's a lot more things involved. But I said from day one, if you roll your sleeves up, you have to understand the town. One of the things when I go anywhere is understand what the football is, understand what the people are who watch it, and what the town is. And if Chesterfield is if you go out on a Saturday and you roll your sleeves up and you give your all and you can give nothing more, they'll accept if you make a mistake and it doesn't quite work out. They'll accept that. If you don't, then I wouldn't accept that. So that that's part and parcel of having a affinity with the club and wanting to do your job to the best of your ability. I shouldn't have to go out and motivate players to play for Chesterfield. Chesterfield is arguably the biggest club in our level. We've the stadium's the best stadium at our level. and should never be at our level. And that's, I don't talk to the players about the conference. I talk to them about getting to another level. And the ones who want to do that, then, while my time there, they'll be in and around us. The ones who don't want to do that or find it difficult to keep repeating, won't be with us because we've got to get to another level.
Okay, and a final question, John. This is from Ben Shepherd, who says that, do you believe that we're in a position where we could be fighting for promotion in the upcoming seasons?
Well, I think we showed decent form towards the end of the season that we've just had. So if that was the case, we could be in and around it. We need to look at what the situation. I think sometimes it comes down to a little bit of luck, because if your best players don't get injured, then you've got a chance where you're putting your best players on the pitch. I was quite fortunate with that. I felt I could play the best players. I didn't change the team much in the period that we just had, because I didn't feel I needed to, and that they get some kind of cohesion in the team, because if you keep changing it, it's difficult. I think you change it if you're not winning games, or you don't quite know what your best 11 is, and that's fine. That happens. But we're quite fortunate that we hit the ground running with 2 wins on the bounce, which then made it easier for me to pick the team. The difficult thing for me was who to leave out. So we've got as good a chance as any. If I'm going to be there next year, and I can, we can get organised, and we can get some players in which are going to help us to go to another level. And then change the mindset of the players that we've already got, and make them fitter, make them better, give them better understanding. Why not? I wouldn't want to take the job to certainly potter around in the bottom 4 where we've been for the last 3 years or so. I want to be at the other end of the table. But again, finances are going to be tight. We don't know how it's going to be regards of the outcome of the pandemic we're going through, what effect that's going to have to everyone. The player's state of mind is going to be difficult, and a tough one for them to deal with, because they've been cooped up for so long, like everybody else. So there's a big job to be done, definitely. But can we get to the other end? Should we at the other end of the table? Absolutely, yes. That's my mentality of it. We can we should be fighting at the other end, the top end, instead of where we've been for the last 3 years.
Okay, thanks for that, John. I'm sure that it'll be very enlightening for everyone to listen to your comments. Perhaps there might be some closing remarks that you'd like to make to supporters just before we finish.
Yeah, just on my behalf, really personally, I would like to thank everybody at the club, and certainly connected with the club, for certainly the support that I've had. It's been difficult. I know the supporters, when we went down to Dover, just myself, when I was going over, I felt to thank them personally. I felt I needed to do that, and that's just how I felt. It just all came up, and it's just how I felt really over the time that I've been there, because the supporters have been great with me. It does help to win football matches. I understand that. I think if we don't win football matches, it could be very different. I'm not stupid, but to be fair to them, they've got behind the team, which has been a massive help for me then to help to take the team forward and get us out the predicament that we found ourselves in. So yes, big thank you to everyone. Please keep supporting your club, because it is a great club. It is a big club, and we do need you. And the main thing is stay safe, so we can see you all next season.